Stones, look out!
She's with the rebels! Crush them!
You got it.
So it must be.
We can take them.
Attack!
Let's do this.
Tiara's breath. That thing was tough.
A guardian golem. They were made to protect, not to harm. The guards must have been desperate to awaken them.
And no sign of your brother.
Aye. Let's find Arrakis.
Yes.
There.
What's he doing?
I'll catch up. At once.
Keep it up.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
What?
What?
What on Io is this? It's like he's not even aware of us.
Norse claws, of course. The rune.
Rune?
The rune Rondar Lakain used during the Purity Wars, remember? I told you about it. The Purity of Light used it to control Lady Myra Utran's mind. The way Arrakis is behaving, this catatonia. It's just like how Lady Myra was after Tahar broke the rune's influence on her. High Hierophant Arrakis is under mind control, Erev. He was.
Wait. You mean someone is controlling him? Who?
Circle Mage Iskrim, of course. It has to be Iskrim. He's the only one who knows how to handle the rune. He's the one who has it.
Guardians. You're right.
Hold on. What the stones are you talking about? Mind control, rune? If anybody is controlling Arrakis, then it's the God of Light. You heard what?
No, Rera, you don't understand. Iskrim is the dwarf Wraith saw during the ritual. He's the corrupted, not Arrakis. Look, during the Purity Wars, Rondar Lakain used a Shaper runestone to exert mind control over an influential noble in the north, Lady Myra Utran. Jairus told me the story. Despite the dangers, Circle Mage Iskrim was fascinated by the technology, and he must have continued to research it, without the Queen's permission.
Then... a Circle Mage did this. But... why?
I don't know, but Arrakis must have been a puppet, and all this, the Granite Suns, the monument, Iskrim forced him to do it. We have to...
There's the bastard. Good.
Malik, where were you?
Where do you think? Outside, putting down Arrakis's dogs.
That's a bloodbath out there. Was that really necessary? You were supposed to blow up the monument and then sneak into the castle.
Aye, but things got messy. What do you expect us to do? Fight the guards with candy and pillows. But don't worry, it's almost over. All that's left to do now is put down the bad shepherd and the rest of his lambs.
You want to kill him? That wasn't part of the plan, Malik.
Plans change.
Why don't you just throw him into a dungeon?
So that he uses his friends to buy him out the first chance he gets? No, General. Bastards like Arrakis, the rich and the mighty, they always find a way to wriggle themselves out of punishment. You have to cut them down when you have the chance.
Wait, what do you mean by put down his lambs?
What do you think? Every bootlicker, every stuck-up aristocrat, every pragmatist who stood with this bastard is going to die. We're going to finish what we started outside.
Malik, that's...
That's just what needs to be done, for fuck's sake. That bullshit ideology Arrakis has put into their heads. It's like cancer. If you don't cut out every single bit of the tumour, it always comes back.
Arrakis wasn't in charge of all this. He was under mind control.
Mind control? Huh? Well, that doesn't change the fact that he's got blood on his hands, too. First, we take care of him, and then we find whoever was making the monkey dance.
You're starting to sound just like him.
Oh, get off your high horse, Rara. You're not calling the shots here, not this time. Now, the only reason you came back after you ditched me here was because you wanted to feel good about yourself. And even then, you couldn't wait to jump ship again and run off with that traitor general and his army. You have no fucking idea what it's like down here. Now stand aside and let me finish what we started.
No. We helped you under the assumption that you were going to help Windhelm, not orchestrate a bloodbath. Arrakis lives, and so will his underlings. In prison.
Don't you dare order me around. Don't you fucking dare!
Let's find this Iskrim.
Are you all right, Rhett?
I'm good. Now, where can we find the one who did this? Do you think he's here? In Windhelm?
What about your brother? Do we leave him here?
He's only unconscious and none of his wounds are lethal. We'll find a healer to take care of him. Now again, where's this circle mage? Where's Iskrim?
Thoughts, anyone?
The rune only has a very limited range. So, yes, he must be here. He was here all the time.
Hold on. Didn't your brother mention something about an odd dwarf going in and out of the tunnels, Rara?
You mean that was him?
It's a possibility.
Right. Well, then let's find the man. I'd like to have a calm and rational discussion with him.
Even well down into the lower layers of the city, the fighting continues. At least, that's what the din of cries, fires, and clashing axes suggests. Rara leads the way, walking fast, her eyes fixed forward.
Here we are. Let's hope we're right and he hasn't made a run for it yet.
We should try that grave first, remember? The one we found last time we were here?
Good point.
We should move.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Hear that?
Iskrim. Yes, I'm on it.
Iria?
We know what you did, Iskrim. You used the rune to orchestrate the rise of the Granite Suns. Arrakis was your puppet.
So the secret's out. I knew it would be eventually.
Stones, why? Why the stones would you do something like this? Do you know how many people you've killed?
Do you know whose grave this is?
How should I know?
It's Gilak Orblades. The founder of the first Blackstone rebels, whose name you borrowed. King Rorik executed him 20 years ago.
I know who Gilak Orblade was. A hero. What does he have to do with you?
He was my husband.
You're... what?
It's true, Rara. I should have told you earlier, but I don't know. It was private.
So, Gilak Orblade was your... what? Your lover?
Is the idea that absurd? Gilak. All he ever wanted to do was good. He didn't fool himself into believing he could save the entire world. Just a touch of good, here and there. That's why he founded the rebels. They weren't even violent to begin with. Just a voice against the injustices that happened under King Rorik's reign. And what did he get in return? Right. The king had him murdered. And when they presented his body to the public, everyone cheered.
I don't follow. King Rorik killed your husband, I understand that. But why on Io would you use the rune to mastermind the rise of another tyrant because of that?
Because I wanted to make them see! I wanted to make these stupid, gullible fools who enable people like Rorik and Arrakis to see how endlessly rotten they really are! And it worked, didn't it? All it took were empty words and hatred, and look at what happened. If we dwarves are really that easy to break, that easy to manipulate, then blood and ashes are all we deserve. Arrakis was a test, and they failed it.
The rebellion succeeded, didn't it? So how did Windhelm fail your test?
They failed it the moment they elevated Arrakis into power. Restore Windhelm to its former glory. Gravel Eaters, Granite Sons. Empty words. Pandering, sycophancy through and through. How could anyone believe this nonsense? And yet they did. They cheered, they hated, and they killed for it. As for the rebels, I had high hopes for them. But the more powerful they became, the clearer it became to me that they were ultimately no better than Arrakis. Look at the bloodbath up there. They did that. Give a man an axe, and you see his true face.
Malik made them do it. This wasn't what I stood for. This wasn't what any of us stood for.
And yet they obeyed when your brother commanded them to commence the slaughtering. Admit it, Hailstone. It's just in our blood. We dwarves deserve no better.
Why have you released Arrakis now?
Why? Because there's no point anymore. The test is over. And Windhelm has failed.
In other words, Arrakis was your puppet from the very start.
For 5 moons. Not from the start. You see, Arrakis was always a hate-monger at heart. That's why I chose him. Preached racial purity. He had slept with an elf. What he lacked was simply the rhetorics and the charisma to take over. So I used the rune on him, and helped out with that.
So you did all this to prove a point?
Call it what you will. The truth is, had these people not been so foolish, Windwall would still be at peace now, and Gilak would still be alive.
You bloody, arrogant piece of shit! You played God. That's what this was about. Don't you dare pretend it was any different.
I threw a carcass into the arena, Hailstone. The lions tore it apart.
Well, Windhelm is in flames and hundreds of dwarves are dead. Are you happy?
Quite the opposite. But it wasn't me. I never had Arrakis order the death of anyone. What happened out there? Those fools did it to themselves. And that includes your brother, Rara Hailstone. He was only waiting for a chance to get his hands bloody.
You know nothing about my brother.
Oh, but I do. I know that you and he resurrected the Blackstone rebels. And at first, I actually even supported you. Does the name Turfa Smeltgrip ring a bell? Your most generous supporter. I planted that idea inside her head.
Wait. You built up the Blackstone rebels?
I supported them. But the more I watched, the more I realized that they were as bad as Arrakis' lackeys. Just in a different uniform. What your brother did out there, Rara Hailstone, only proves my point.
So you caused a civil war just to prove a point? You're mad.
No more mad than the countless dwarves who cheered Arrakis on.
Iskrim, you were also being manipulated. You're one of the corrupted, one of the God of Light's tools.
The God of Light? What are you talking about?
The God of Light is trying to re-enter the world. It's part of an ancient prophecy, Jakku. There are 4 corrupted whose task it is to sow chaos and help with its plan. And you are one of them. You might not have been aware of it, but the God of Light influenced your actions.
What? But... no. This is nonsense. I did this because the dwarves deserved it. We all...
Corrupted or not, I don't give a shit. You have blood on your hands, Circle Mage Iskrim, and you're gonna answer for it. General, I hope you have a spare cell in the Greykeep dungeons. A lightless one with rats.
You'll be tried and punished, yes. Iskrim, promise me that you're not gonna put up a fight. There's been enough bloodshed today.
Do what you want. I did what I had to.
Your Majesty, I'm sorry for the delay. There was something I needed to take care of.
You are excused. We were just discussing the events in Windholm. Iria, you say you noticed nothing strange about Iskrim all this time? I am not blaming you. I simply imagine he must have worked on this plan for quite some time before realizing it.
Well, you know how Iskrim is. When he wasn't abroad on his expeditions, he was in his laboratory researching the rune and how the Shapers used it. He would have had plenty of time to work on this plan of his.
Though that raises the question as to when corruption starts. Kirin, the Empyrean man, also wasn't aware that he was serving Jakku. So was it Sheobded who put these ideas into their heads? Or were they already there, and Sheobded merely twisted them for his own purposes?
Either explanation is unsettling.
Well, unsettling or not, what matters is that we took one more of Sheobded's corrupted out of the equation. Also, High Hierophant Arrakis won't be a problem any longer. You did good work, Rara Hailstone. And so did you, General.
Have you already spoken to Iskrim, Your Majesty?
Not yet. But I plan on doing so very soon.
Provided that he wants to. Ever since we dragged him out of those catacombs, he hasn't said a single word.
I will get him to talk.
Will putting Iskrim in chains really neutralize his influence as a corrupted?
It has to. If he's locked away, how can he advance Jakku? We only need to make certain the locks are safe enough.
Indeed. And even if it were not so, we cannot and will not execute a Circle Mage based on mere conjecture. I am certain you understand.
What will become of Arrakis?
We will leave that up to the Prince to decide. Let us just hope that the rest of Hailstone's rebels are wiser than her brother.
They are. And just so you know, the Blackstone rebels will stick with you until you've done what you must.
Thank you, Hailstone. I appreciate your loyalty.
That only leaves us with the masked woman, doesn't it? We need to find the Temple of Light before they do.
Speaking of which, where's Sir Catras? Wasn't he here when the conclave started?
He was.
I'm right here, Your Majesty. May I present Gilbar Mercal, the archaeologist.
You found him?
In a brothel in Everlight, yes. A lovely chap, he really is.
It wasn't a brothel. It was a bathing house. Now, while I'm humbled to be here, will somebody please tell me what this is about? Why am I here?
You're here because Nortander needs your services. Tell us, Gilbert Mercal, what do you know about the Temple of Light?
The Temple of... Wait. Does that mean you believe me? You believe it exists?
We certainly do. And we have taken an interest in finding it.
Your Majesty, I don't know what to say. This is an honor. I've spent my entire life...
We know you have. And if your research proves to be helpful, I will see you get the recognition you deserve. Now tell us what you know. What is the Temple of Light? And where is it?
Well, where shall I start? First of all, you need to know that Io is a land full of ancient secrets and...
The short version, please.
Fine. You all know about the God of Light, at least since the Purity Wars. It's an interdimensional entity with hostile intentions. What you probably don't know is that Rondar Lakain wasn't the first person to try to bring it into our world. An ancient people did, too. They were the ones who constructed the original gate, a portal devised to let the God of Light into our world. And they kept it in their temple.
The Temple of Light.
Yes. I doubt that was the name these people used, but according to my research, it's somewhere between the Lorrainian swamplands and Windholm, above the border of the Howling Steppes.
An ancient people? Are you talking about the Shapers?
I know who the Xarlanthep are. And no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a different culture. Well developed at their zenith, but small in number.
When was that?
Well, that's hard to say, really, as they left hardly any traces. The few I found suggest that they lived around the same time the Xarlanthep did, but died before these became a world empire.
I don't get it. I'm no archaeologist, but if this culture was as well developed as you said, how come they left no traces?
That's the conundrum I've been dealing with for a long time. My esteemed colleagues say it is because these people didn't exist. You don't even know what they called themselves, they say. I know they did, though. And the God of Light's existence stands testimony to that. There's one theory I have regarding their disappearance, but I have little evidence to support it.
Which is?
That someone tried to erase them from history. Someone covered their tracks.
Before the Purity Wars, no one even knew the God of Light existed. How is that possible?
An excellent question. At first, I thought the records were simply lost to time. But the patterns were too strong to be ordinary coincidence. I think, at some point or another, every civilization purged the God of Light from their records. Perhaps they all concluded the knowledge was too dangerous.
Like the Hibernians in Old Hallu. They also knew about the God of Light, but wrote remarkably little about it.
They were one, yes.
The Aliani prophecy Jakku also mentions this gate. What makes it any different from the portal that Lakain tried to open in the Hall of Justice?
Well, I don't know about any Jakku, but Rondar Lakain created a tear, a fracture in the veil that seals itself with time. The gate, on the other hand, cannot be closed once it has been opened. If it helps, Picture the tear as a needle-sized hole in a piece of fabric. The gate is the equivalent of ripping the fabric apart.
So that's why the masked woman is looking for the temple. It's where the corrupted end Jakku, after all, by opening the gate.
With the energy of the Horde of Souls. Remember the Purity Wars? Lakain needed the magic of Tahar's mother to open the portal for the God of Light. And as she, the last Shaper, died, they needed another energy source. That's what they siphoned those souls for, to open the gate in the Temple of Light.
I don't follow. Horde of souls? Masked woman? You think somebody's actually trying to open the gate?
Sadly, we don't think, we know. Tell me, did someone break into your house last week? Ferreted through your desk, perchance?
You mean... Oh, Guardians, this is terrible. I don't know what to say.
Do you think they've located it already? Are you missing, I don't know, a map or something?
Now that you mention it, yes. I've been wondering where that notebook went.
Then we have no time to lose. We will make for Windholm and...
Wait!
Kaiawu?
Sir Merkel, you are wrong. The temple isn't near the steps. It's in the steps. It's next to our village.
I'm sorry, boy. Who are you?
Those ancient people you were talking about, they are our ancestors. We were once 4 tribes, and the chieftains introduced Sheoldred as a god to worship. They wanted to open the gate, but a group of us rebelled and stopped them. They sealed off the temple, changed their ways, and became what we are today. Jakku isn't just a prophecy, it's a reminder of what once was.
Why on Io didn't you tell us? This could have changed everything.
Because it's the law. Never, under any circumstances, must the chieftain or his kin reveal the whereabouts of the temple. Never. You just don't understand, General. Every custom we have, every tradition we honor, every law that I am bound to, I broke them all. I have broken with everything I once deemed holy to help you. My father forgave it all. But had I told you about the temple, well, I would have been an Aliani no longer. I am an Aliani no longer.
You hoped we would find the temple on our own?
Yes. That way, I would not have become a traitor.
Wait, the Aliani used to worship Sheoldred? Why?
For a reason similar to that of the Hibernian prince. They were seeking its favor. I don't have to tell you how powerful Sheoldred is. It can create new realities with a mere thought.
And that was what they wanted? A new reality?
One where the Aliani didn't just rule the steppes, but all of Northander. Thankfully, some of our people saw the implications of this and stopped the chieftains before it was too late. Do you understand now? This is why we have our ways. We vowed to never again let Sheoldred enslave us with promises of power or to succumb to those sins. If Jakku were to happen again, we, by all that's sacred, would be observers, not perpetrators.
You haven't told us after all this time. Why now?
Because if the Crescent concludes that the temple is in the steppes, their next move will be to question my people. We must get there before they do. We must.
Shit.
Guardians, Kaiawu. You risked a lot of lives by keeping this from us all this time.
I'm sorry, General, but I don't know. I thought maybe you could find out yourself. My people did wrong once. I'm trying to make sure we don't mess up again.
Where is the temple?
It's northwest of the village. Not far, but nowhere near the border with Lara, as Sir Merkel said. I can take you there.
Is that wise? The Dark Crescent might be waiting for us.
Very unlikely. If they only just stole Merkal's research, it will take them time to figure it out. We can move in and fortify our position at the village and temple. Then, when they appear, we strike.
And catch them red-handed, alongside the last corrupted. Smart.
General, you will go on ahead with the Wolf Guard. Secure the Aliani village first, then head to the temple. I will mobilize as many levies as I can, and then follow.
Why not destroy the temple? If there's no gate, then there's no way for Sir Evil God to enter, right?
For once, I agree with Catris. Without the gate, it won't matter how powerful the Horde of Souls is.
That would not work. The temple is only a physical structure, whereas the gate is part of the veil. It won't matter if there's a building or just a pile of rubble.
Kyawu, do you think your people would be willing to help us?
I don't know. I am a traitor now. And even if they would, they are not warriors.
I do not think we should involve the Aliani in this fight. It is enough if we protect them from the Crescent.
Thank you, Your Majesty. That means a lot to me. To us.
Okay, let's get to it.
You should. I want you to set out by the next morrow. In the meantime, prepare yourself and the Wolf Guard as well as you can. Everything depends on your success.
better be good.
Welcome back.
Here's what I found.
Ah, wonderful. Thank you so much. The Society would also like you to have this. Let me know if you find anything else on your travels.
Oh, hello again.
I'd like some...
I know of just... Here's the list.
I'll be going.
Aye. You see again.
It's them or us.
Let's be quick!
All right, here goes nothing.
No one here.
Farther down south. Here we go.
They must be gone down.
As you command. All right. Consider it done.
That's a big one. This is it.
Go.
Attack!
Get ready! I can use some healing!
Fair enough. Let's do this. Get ready!
I could use some healing! I could use some healing!
I need help over here!
They killed one of our heroes!
Don't die, will you? We need you. I need help over here.
They killed one of our heroes.
Don't die, will you? We need you.
Come on, we're not losing you.
I could use some healing!
Really? Lead on then. Consider it done.
I could use...
This is how it ends.
I could use some healing!
Killed one of our heroes!
Don't die on me, will you? We need you. You die, I don't get paid.
Damn it. Healing now.
I need help.
They killed one of our heroes!
Damn, come on. Healing now. We're not losing you. Come on, we're not losing you.
I could use some healing!
need help.
They killed one of our heroes.
No, don't die on me, will you? We need you.
I need help.
I could use some healing.
They killed one of our heroes.
We need you.
I could use some healing.
On your order.
They killed one of our heroes.
Don't die on me, will you? We need you. I need help over here. No, don't die on me, will you? We need you.
They killed one of our heroes.
Let's be quick.
No, don't die on me, will you? We need you. All right, here goes nothing. Finally, some action.
I could use some healing.
I need help.
I could use some healing. I could use some healing.
I need help.
They killed one of our heroes.
Come on, we're not losing you. This is it.
I could use some healing. I could use some healing.
They killed one of our heroes.
You die, I don't get paid.
I need help over here. Here we go. I need help over here. I need help over here.
They killed one of our heroes.
I could use some healing.
They killed one of our heroes.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
I could use some healing.
I need help over here.
I could use some healing.
I need help over here. Let me see.
hello again.
Here's what you asked.
Aye. That'll do the trick. Now sit tight. Here we are.
I'll be going.
Aye. Be seeing you.
As expected, you find little sleep on the journey, and fill the nights with long walks instead. On one particular stroll, you find Kaiawu sitting alone on the far end of the camp. You talk far into the early morning hours, sharing your hopes, your fears, and the almost illicit sense that this time, finally, you have the advantage. As dawn breaks and the rest of the Wolfguard stirs, you feel strangely at ease. Dwarves, dark elves, and humans alike, all under one banner? If they can't stop the Crescent, who can? Tomorrow, you'll reach the Howling Steps. Not only to stop the last corrupted and with her Jakku, but also to find...
Here we are. Can you lead the way to your village, Kaiawu? We should talk to them first.
Yes, I can show you. What about the rest of our troops, though? Shouldn't we wait for them to catch up?
They'll set up camp north, near where you said the temple entrance is. We need to cover that ground if we don't want the Crescent to surprise us. Let's go.
Do you smell that?
Smoke.
Must be the autumn rites. Still, we should hurry.
Is that...
Father! Ancestors' mercy! Father!
He's with the ancestors, Kaiawu.
No! No, 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 no!
What happened here?
An army of dark elves showed up here. We were out hunting with Tekana and his men, and when we came back, the village was aflame. We dealt with the elves that were still here, but the rest of them moved on.
The Crescent. They must have found out that the temple isn't where Mikhail thought it would be. Quicker than we expected.
You know about the temple? Then this is what they came here for.
Yes. And if they're not here anymore, it means that Chieftain Mayawa must have told them the whereabouts of the temple. Damn it. We need to stop them and fast. Kaiawu will lead us to the temple.
Walk with the ancestors, Father. Find peace on the great journey.
Kaiawu, please.
I did this to them, you know. This is my fault.
The Dark Crescent are the ones who did this. They're the ones who'll pay, but only if we catch them in time.
Are they really? Had I told you where the temple was when we met, none of this would have happened. Ancestors, I was such a fool! I should have known you wouldn't find the temple on your own, but still I waited. I waited because I didn't want to break the laws. I waited until they died. Just like what I accused my father of doing. And here I thought I knew better.
Look, I'm sorry about this, I truly am, but if we don't go now, Sheog Dead will destroy everything and their deaths will have been for nothing. Is that what you want? Please, Kyawu. We need you.
All right.
Good. Sane, can you spare any of your men? We need every blade we can get.
Count on it.
General Arif. The Crescent. They're already at the temple.
Already here. We know. They destroyed the village.
Oh, Tiara's breath. But how? How could they know the temple is in the steppes?
Maybe there's a traitor in our ranks. Either way, we need to focus. Give me a breakdown of the situation.
Of course. The Crescent's base is near the temple entrance, which makes sense since their main objective is probably to keep everyone away from it while they try to break in. They also have numerous outposts all over the steppes, each of them reinforced with portals, through which they send Siphoned. Despite all that, I wouldn't expect them to be too defensive. They'll probably harry us with attacks, so that we don't even think about coming for the temple. To make matters worse, they even seem to have struck a bargain with the survivors of the Fleshkin orcs we fought in the Crimson Mire. They're only a handful, but enough to be a threat. Now, the Wolfguard set up camp further down the valley. The Queen's levies have also arrived and have taken up position in the Sand Prowler's old base. The question is, who do you want to lead them?
Catras, you lead the levies.
Me? Fair enough, General. I won't let you down.
Good. Anything else, General? If not, time is running out.
Any chance we could negotiate with the Fleshkin? Come to some kind of agreement?
Yeah, we tried, but they threw a javelin right at our envoy. She survived, but I think the message is clear.
How long before they break through the temple gate?
Impossible to say. It could be weeks, days, or hours.
All the more reason to make haste.
Then let's give these bastards hell. Let's make sure they pay for every soul they siphoned.
Well said, sir. Nihov, guide your sword.